kind of a long story. I'd been doing judo for 14 years with my brother, and I won the British Championships for my age and weight 3 times, and had a friend in a place called Leamington Spa, and he was a boxer. He was ex Golden Gloves, and his uncle was world middleweight champion way back when Sugar Ray Robinson was around. And this guy called Randolph Turpin beat Sugar Ray Robinson for the world championship. So my friend, however, was his nephew. His name was Jackie Turpin. He was also a boxer, but developed a glass jaw. So he took up professional wrestling. So I went with him one day to professional wrestling match, and the promoter looked at me, found out about my judo background, and knew I was Jackie Turpin's friend, and asked me if I wanted to do professional wrestling. And at the time, I was into the shoot stuff, you know, and I wasn't too keen on doing the showmanship. But then I saw Dynamite Kid, and he really impressed me in the ring, and that was my first impression. And I looked at that and I thought, I think I could do that, and I like it. So it was really Dynamite Kid that sparked it off, even though my friend took me there.
Were you a fan of wrestling growing up, or?
I wasn't really a fan of wrestling. I mean, I like the entertainment. I watch it on TV, and of course it's entirely different than judo or amateur wrestling, as people know. And it's, you know, it's entertainment. It's an entertainment sport, and I like the entertainment, but I didn't take it too seriously at the time.
Right. Who was responsible for training you at first back in the 70s?
The first guy that really took me in was a guy called Tally Ho-Kay, and he was real famous in England. Steve Logan and Mick McManus also, they took me in, and these guys were old hands at professional wrestling. So they sort of not overpowered me. They were scared that I'd come back and do some judo on them, but they kind of made sure that they looked good those first few matches, I remember. But I have a lot to thank them for, because they really were the ones that spent time with me.
Right. In the 1978, I guess you started wrestling in England?
Yeah, 1978.
And your first match with Tally Ho?
Tally Ho-Kay.
Right.
Yeah.
And you worked with Giant Haystacks?
Yeah, Giant Haystacks, a Big Daddy. They liked me a lot, and they put me on TV. And so I was the new kid on the block. And I'd team up with Big Daddy, who was the big star over there, and be against Giant Haystacks and maybe a guy called Banger Walsh or Steve Logan or someone in a tag match. And I'd be the fall guy, and they'd beat the shit out of me. And then I'd just make it, tag Big Daddy, and he'd make the big comeback, and I'd dive off the top rope and get the pin, and people used to go crazy. It was a great formula. It's really what gave me a boost.
What was the British scene like as far as wrestling?
British scene back then was really good. It was on TV every Saturday afternoon. A guy called Kent Walton would do the commentating. The ratings were way up, although I wasn't into the rating thing back then.
Right.
But it was very popular, and Great Britain had its own deal, you know.
Did you have in mind to come to the States right away, or was your goal to come to the United States and wrestle, or did you want to?
No, I met a guy called Yasu Fuji, a Japanese guy, but he resided in Los Angeles, and I wrestled him a few times, and we had some great matches, and he was impressed with me, and he mentioned that he worked for Mike LaBelle in Los Angeles, and that when he goes back to LA, he would talk with Mike LaBelle and tell him about me, and see if Mike LaBelle would help me come over with my, visa and organization, and just, help me out. And he did. So he came back to LA, talked to Mike LaBelle, and Mike LaBelle instantly got me a visa. And Mike LaBelle was pretty well connected back then anyway. And before I knew it, I was over here.
It was like 1981, I guess, when you came over.
Yeah, 1981. I came from a small town in England to LA. So I thought the whole United States was like LA. And in England, they call American people, whether they're from the north, the south, or east, or west, they call them Yankees. It's just the way it is.
Right.
And I landed in LA, and I just went, wow, these Yankees are crazy. But, you know, that was my first impression of LA.
All right. Some of the talent that was there at the time was John Tolos and Andre the Giant.
Yep. Andre the Giant would come in, you know, every so often for the big shows.
Right.
John Tolos, Victor Rivera. Those were the two main characters I remember. Goliath, Tanaka.
Right.
I think he just died.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was in a lot of movies. Yeah, they were a really, really nice bunch of guys.
And how about Tom Pritchard, who now works with World Wrestling Federation?
Tom Pritchard and I sparked up a good friendship pretty quick, and they made us we were tag team champions, America's tag team champions, and we worked together a lot, shared the same girlfriends and stuff like that.
How did you wind up in New Japan?
Through Mike LaBelle. Mike LaBelle had very good contacts with Vince Sr. at the time and New Japan. Right. And he also set me up with Mexico too. So Mike LaBelle was very helpful in that way.
And I guess you worked with Fujinami.
Yeah, Fujinami and Tiger Mask.
Right.
They were my main two battles when I went over there. So they'd always build me up good, and then I'd have some fantastic matches with Fujinami and Tiger Mask. Tiger Mask I first met in England.
This is Sayama, right?
Yes, Satoru Sayama. And he came in as, I can't remember the first name, but somebody Lee. He was meant to be Bruce Lee's brother. So we had some good matches, really good.
And what are your memories of your WWF Junior title win over Perro Aguayo?
Mike LaBelle, you know, organized it so I'd go to Mexico. I spent about 6 months of my life all together in Mexico City. And they liked me over there. I learned a lot. I learned a lot of different way of working, you know, high spots. Of course, they work to the right, not the left. And it really helped me a lot. They liked me, and I wrestled against Perro Aguayo a lot, and people like Fishman and Angel Blanco, and you name it, I worked with them. And I had this built up to a fantastic match against Perro Aguayo, and won the championship from him. It was the WWF Light Heavyweight Championship.
Right. Also, when you were in New Japan, what was Antonio Inoki like as booker?
He was really, really respectful to me. He liked the fact that my brother, who is a judo man, my brother and I started judo together. My brother's won 2 silver medals in the Olympics, one in Moscow, one in Los Angeles, and twice not British, world champion, and 14 times European, I believe, and so many times British champion. And they used to fly Neil, my brother, to Japan to teach the Japanese guys arm locks.
Right.
My brother's really, really good at specialized arm locks. And Inoki knew of this, so he respected my brother, and he'd always ask me about my brother. He was good. I think at one time he ran for mayor, so he was way up there.
He's got power over there.
He's got power over there.
Watch thousands of exclusive shoot interviews right now on TitleMatchNetwork.com.